Good afternoon, everyone. We'll give everybody just a few minutes to make sure they get into the room okay. Right, if you're just joining us, thanks for joining in. We're going to give it just a minute to make sure everybody gets in the room. Right, and it looks like that number has stabilized. So I am going to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Jessica Horn, and I am the CACRAO facilitator for this session today with NC State University. So I just have a quick housekeeping announcement for everybody before I turn it over to our folks from NC State for this session. So welcome to the virtual college exploration for all North Carolina and South Carolina transfer students, sponsored by the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers and StriveScan. So thanks for joining in on this session. Just a few quick housekeeping announcements. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to ask questions of your presenters at any time, and they'll go through those questions at the end. Your camera and microphone are off, so you're muted and your video is off. The panelists won't be able to see or hear you, so the Q&A box is really the best way to interact with them. Just remember that this is one of many different sessions happening, so if you're interested in any other institutions, you can check out our schedule at www.cacrao.org or CACRAO.org. And then after today, this session will be recorded and it'll be available on that same website. So in case you miss anything or you want to circle back, you can definitely check that out. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to our presenters.
Awesome. Thanks, Jessica. So welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. So my name is Courtney Sola, and I am an assistant director here in NC State's Office of Admissions. So we are excited to have y'all logged in with us today to learn a little bit more about NC State, who we are, what we do, and our transfer admissions process. On the call with me today, I have my colleague, Taylor. So Taylor, I'll turn it over to you quickly to introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to NC State Virtually. I'm so glad you all could join us. My name is Taylor Holland. I'm one of the Associate Directors of Undergraduate Admissions. I'm also the Transfer Student Coordinator. And we are so pleased that you could join us for this information session about NC State. So take it away, Courtney.
Awesome. So we do have about a 30 to 35 minute presentation laid out for you guys. We will be covering a lot of information today, so we hope that you guys do have questions. Feel free to ask questions throughout the entire presentation in the Q&A function, and we will address them throughout the entire presentation, but also open up to live Q&A at the end. But with that being said, I will go ahead and get started. So again, welcome. So NC State is located in Raleigh, North Carolina. Raleigh is the capital city of our state, also the second largest city within North Carolina. So we really like to think that Raleigh does provide a lot of different social, professional, and research opportunities for our students. And of course, as those opportunities are present in our city, they're also present on our campus. As an institution, we are so thankful for our location in Raleigh. It really does provide just a lot of opportunities for our students. Raleigh is just a phenomenal place. Raleigh has been consistently ranked as one of the best cities to live in and also one of the best cities for college students. One thing that I love about Raleigh, especially for our transfer students, is the longevity that you can have in Raleigh. So there are a lot of employment and graduate school opportunities just within our city. So after you transfer to NC State, if you really do want to lay roots and build community in our city, you can do so and begin your professional career in our city after graduation from NC State. Now, as for our campus, we are located about 2 miles away from the downtown Raleigh area. In my opinion, that truly is the best of both worlds for our students. So we are close enough to the downtown Raleigh area to where you can take advantage of all of the opportunities our city can afford, but we're also far enough away from that downtown Raleigh area to where you are not fighting Raleigh traffic to get to your classes, and none of our academic buildings are actually in the downtown city. So once again, pretty prime location. Now, as for our campus, we are the largest institution in North Carolina, and we proudly serve the most amount of North Carolinians. We are currently home to just over 36,000 students. About 24,000 of those students will be in our undergraduate population and the rest in our graduate level programs. In addition to being the largest student body in North Carolina, we're also one of the largest physical campuses in North Carolina. So we currently span over 600 acres. So we do take up quite a bit of space in our city. And in order to accommodate all of our students and student services and resources, we actually function on 3 distinct campuses. So as for those campuses, first and foremost, we have Main Campus. This really is the hub of student life and the student experience at NC State. So on Main Campus, we do have our Tally Student Union, which you can see pictured. Main Campus is also home to the vast majority of our academic buildings, as well as our student services. And those student services include our Military and Veterans Office, our Academic Success Center, Student Health, and Wellness and Recreation. Main Campus is also home to a variety of different parking lots if, as a transfer student, you would like to commute to our campus. And it's also home to the vast majority of our dining options for students. So again, a really big part of the student life here at NC State. Now, the next campus that we offer is Centennial Campus. So Centennial Campus is home to our College of Engineering and our Wilson College of Textiles. So as a transfer student, if you are involved in either of those academic programs, this is where the vast majority of your coursework would be. Centennial Campus is also home to about 75 different industry, government, and nonprofit partners that we lovingly call our Centennial Partners. And with these partners, they actually do their day-to-day work on Centennial Campus. So about half of the brick buildings that you see on Centennial Campus are dedicated office spaces to all of our Centennial partners. And in addition to working on our campus, they also work alongside all of our academic units to produce research for NC State. So Centennial Campus really is a great example of how our professional community and our scholar community within Raleigh really integrate and work with our students on a daily basis. Another really fun fact about our Centennial partners is that each year they do employ hundreds and hundreds of NC State students for job and internship opportunities. So when we talk about professional development, one thing that's so great about NC State is that there's a lot of flexibility and ease with integrating professional development opportunities, not only into your academic semester, but of course, summer terms too. And that's just one great example of it. Having these companies on one of our campuses where students take classes and they're actually employing our students. Centennial Campus, just some fun things, is also home to our Lonnie Pool Golf Course, which is utilized by our students for recreational purposes or our professional golf management students, as well as Lake Raleigh, which is a great recreational lake on campus. And then last but not least, we have Centennial Biomedical Campus. So this campus is home to our College of Veterinary Medicine. This is the only program on this campus, and since our College of Veterinary Medicine is a graduate level program, this is technically a graduate campus. So our undergraduate students don't have many academic experiences on this campus, but we always love to talk about Centennial Biomedical since we are so proud of our College of Veterinary Medicine, but also it's a great segue into pre-professional programs. So at NC State, we understand that a lot of our students do have aspirations of going into a professional or graduate program after receiving their bachelor's degree from NC State. So we do offer pre-professional academic advising for our students in pre-law, pre-health, and of course, pre-vet. And with that pre-professional academic advising, we're really here to help set you up for success. So we'll make sure that you are testing, applying, interviewing, meeting the prerequisites, and ultimately becoming a competitive applicant for any type of graduate or professional program you may be looking to pursue. Some more fun facts about Centennial Biomedical Campus. We do have a full working farm on this campus, and the cows on that farm actually make our Howling Cow ice cream, which is pretty cool. So we do have our own creamery at NC State. Technically on Centennial Biomedical Campus, we have PNC Arena and Carter Finley Stadium. So PNC Arena is a shared space with the city of Raleigh and is home to our men's basketball team. And then Carter Finley Stadium is home to our men's football team. Now speaking of athletics, we are a Division I school. We are in the ACC, so athletics are alive and well on our campus and definitely a really exciting part of the student experience here at NC State. Now at NC State, we do consider ourselves to be a transfer-friendly institution. So we understand that the pathway to NC State is not always direct and that transferring really is a viable option for a lot of our students. About 20% of our students actually start their college career at a different college or university. So each year, 1 in 5 of our enrolling students actually comes from our transfer student population. Each year, we are able to bring in an increasingly diverse class of transfer students. We do have a lot of spread throughout the state of North Carolina, but also outside of our state. So with our transfer students, we currently represent 52 of the 58 North Carolina community colleges, 82 of the 100 North Carolina counties. And as you can see, we're also bringing in out-of-state and international transfer students each year. We want all students to know that, again, there is more than one pathway to NC State and that transferring really is a viable option. And Taylor and I are here to help you through that process in any way that we can. But also with our transfer students, we understand that your transition to NC State is the utmost of importance. We want to make sure that you have a really smooth transition and that you're able to take advantage of all the experiential learning opportunities that we're able to afford you. So when it comes to learning opportunities, the 4 listed on our screen really are a big part of our identity here at NC State, and we work to help students engage in all of these experiential learning opportunities, even our transfer students, to make sure that you can make the most of your time at NC State. So of the ones I want to talk about today are co-ops and internships, study abroad, undergraduate research, and entrepreneurship. If you remember, those are the opportunities that I said are present in the city of Raleigh, but also present on our campus. So when it comes to co-ops and internships, as an institution, we do offer our Career Development Center. So that's going to be our institutional resource, your one-stop shop when it comes to any type of professional development opportunities that you may be seeking out. You can use our job and internship search database. You can work with the professional to review your cover letter and resume or do a mock interview. And they do host job and internship fairs each year. One thing that I love about professional development opportunities is that we do break it down even further by your academic college, and each academic college will provide their own career services specifically for their students. One great example of this is our College of Engineering. Twice a year, they'll host their own job and internship fair specifically for their engineers. They'll fly in hundreds of companies from all around the world just to recruit our engineering students. And it's actually the largest job and internship fair for engineers on the entire East Coast of the United States. So that's just one example of those great professional development opportunities we're able to afford. Study abroad opportunities are abundant at NC State. We do offer over 200 different programs that touch about 90 different countries. And with our study abroad opportunities, they can last as short as a week or as long as 2 years. It's totally up to you and what fits best into your curriculum. And our study abroad office is here to support you through finding the best fit program for yourself. When it comes to undergraduate research, you guys may know NC State is a research-intensive institution. We are one of the 2 R1 institutions within the state of North Carolina, also located in the Research Triangle Park, which is the largest research park of its kind. So undergraduate research is a really big part of our identity and something that we encourage all students to be involved with. As a research-intensive institution, we do incorporate some component of research into every student's curriculum. Now, yes, research does look different across disciplines, but regardless, you will always have some component of it. And our hope is that once students engage in research in the classroom, it really motivates you to pursue research outside of the classroom alongside a faculty member or maybe other students. And more times than not, we find that when students actually engage in undergraduate research, it really ignites their own entrepreneurial spirit. So a little known fact about NC State, we're actually ranked nationally for our entrepreneurship program through our Poole College of Management. We currently have over 135 different startups and spinoffs started just by NC State student research. And we also offer an entrepreneurship garage on our Centennial Campus, which is a great makerspace not only for our students, but professionals within the Raleigh area to really bring to life any of their entrepreneurial ventures. So those are just some of the experiential learning opportunities that we encourage students to engage with. But also, and there are other opportunities on our campus, such as student organizations, athletics, and different transfer student celebrations. And then, of course, probably the reason why most of you guys know about NC State is because of our stellar academic programs. So at NC State, we offer over 100 different majors that span 10 different academic colleges. Now, yes, we are most notably known as a STEM institution, but I can promise you we're not STEM exclusive. So yes, we have a great College of Engineering and College of Sciences. We have a wonderful College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, and we were founded as a land grant institution. But we also have a really expansive College of Humanities and Social Sciences. Our Poole College of Management is where you will find all of your traditional business degrees. We have a great College of Design and the largest College of Textiles in the nation. So again, not STEM exclusive by any means. Now, the most important thing to know about NC State's admissions process is that we are a major dependent institution, and you will be applying directly to your academic program of choice upon submitting your application to NC State, and you will be evaluated for admissions purposes based on the major that you list on your application. So that takes us kind of into the discussion of what our admissions process looks like. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Taylor to talk a little bit more about applying to NC State.
Okay, everybody. Courtney, I think we need to switch to the next one. There we go. I need to right on top of it. So everybody, the application process is really not all that, intense or difficult for us. We actually try to make it as easy as possible for everybody who is applying to the university. So what makes the complete application, we do offer the Common App, which is the Common App where it belongs to approximately or has as many as 700 plus universities that belong to it, and you can apply to numerous other different universities at the same time. The Coalition for Equity and Access is another application option that we do use here at NC State University for low to middle income families, but with a great college search tool and a way for you to put all of your accomplishments and achievements in the application for all to see for the university that you're applying to. And NC State has done a slow roll this semester of its own transfer application as well. So you have 3 choices and there's no preference for any of the ones. Choose the one that you want. You can take a look at them through our website and just pick whichever one. We're not going to have a preference on it. So choose one of those, and then you will submit your $85 application fee in order to get that part complete with the application once you have submitted it. And then when it comes to documentation, we're very simple in the fact that we're just looking for your official college transcripts from each institution you have ever attended. And that means any institution you've ever attended, even if you went there for a short period of time and then withdrew immediately. The state of North Carolina's requirements for its public universities requires that we do have to have that transcript, sealed official transcript on file with your application, even if your current college has all of your previous credits from other colleges and universities. If you are in your first year at another university or a community college, we will want to have your final high school transcript on file for us to use just as a reference guide, just to see what kind of student you were in the past. But most of the decision and most of the review is going to be based on your first semester of school and maybe your mid-year grades in your second semester of college work as well. AP and IB scores can be helpful to meet certain subject requirements, which I'll go into here in just a few moments when it comes to math or English or sciences and some other subjects as well, but do not use it as meeting some of the minimum requirements, of which I'll cover here in just a few moments. Namely the 30 minimum transferable hours. Those would be actually in-class hours that you have completed. So the AP and IB scores cannot be used to meet the minimum amount of credits, but they can be used in the review for subject consideration based on the particular major that you are applying to on the application. So that's it right there. Resumes are not necessary. We do not really use them. We'll file them if you want to send them in. And then if you do have letters of recommendation or anything, again, those are not required in our application review. We really do not refer to them, but some students like to have them on file and we'll put them with them gladly. You have 2 application deadlines, the fall and the spring. And basically, well, it starts with spring, then fall. But the previous August, so this past August 2020, the application opened up for the next calendar year, spring 21 and fall 21. So the application deadline to apply for the spring was October 1st. It has remained open for a little while. It might even be open for the remainder of this week if you still want to try and get your documents into us this week. And you will just get that normally under October 1st is the regular time each year, but we did leave it open a little bit longer this year for obvious reasons. Everybody has a notification date for the spring. It is December 1st. And if you're applying for the fall term, it's by February 15th. Most students apply during the December holiday break. That way, when they go back to school, if you are going back to school in January at your current college or community college, you can get your most updated transcripts to us during that second week of January, well in time before the February 15th deadline. Its notification date will be on April 15th. Once you submit your application, we're going to create what is called a Wolfpack account for you. Please use your personal email address or create a new create a new personal email address just to use for your college applications. That makes things and getting messages much more easy to manage and file and see what is going on in case the university, us, are contacting you for various reasons. Something might be missing or what have you. We're going to create that Wolfpack account for you to check your status. You'll want to log in at least once or twice a week and check that status. And then again on December 1st for spring or April 15th for the fall, we're going to let you know on your Wolfpack account what your decision is. If you're applying for the College of Design, you're going to want to do that practically almost 10 months in advance. So right now, basically, yesterday, excuse me, was the deadline to apply and get your transcripts, your artistic portfolio in, and your application in for the College of Design. They have their own notification dates. Sometime usually falls somewhere between the 2nd and the 3rd week of March. All right, Courtney. Okay, so what do we look for? So basically it's a combination of a holistic academic review and then a little bit of some stuff outside of that academic review as well. We do look for an overall competitive transferable GPA that you've done well on your current college courses. So we're going to take a look at all the different grades that you're making. The grades in recommended courses are going to be come into more play as well, because each major has certain maths, Englishes, some of them have science requirements, some of them have more than one science or one math in their requirements as well. We're going to look heavily at those grades as well. But again, we look at the whole holistic picture on how you've done on all of your courses. That relevant academic coursework that is related to the major also comes into play, outside of the general main highly recommended courses, but other courses related to that major also come into play as well. Your interest in the academic program you're applying for, there are some academic essays, or there is an academic interest essay on the application along with a few others, short answer and short essay as well. But we look at the overall picture overall. So we'll take a look at the grades. We'll even, in a way to help you, if you have 2 unfortunate grades below a C-, whether you've repeated them or not, we'll drop those 2 lower grades. And if you've repeated them, great, we go with the new grades. And if you have a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th repeat on anything, we on that 3rd and upper amount of repeats, we will calculate the new grade with the original grade. So we do, just toss aside 2 of the lowest grades below a C- to help you with your GPA overall. So it's basically courses, how you've done, overall courses, overall GPAs. That's what we're generally looking for to be competitive. The recommendation for competitive applicants, again, this is, things of, you'll see it on our website as recommendations for competitive applicants, or you'll even see wording such as what we look for. And so the program of interest, the recommended college coursework and GPA, and then the high school transcript, again, we can, want to repeat that again, if you have less than 30 credit hours with grades at the time that you are submitting the application. On your right side of the screen, you're going to see one of the first listings for our College of Ag and Life Sciences, and then you'll see at the bottom of the screen all the rest of the colleges. It breaks it down on what needs to be in the 30 minimum credit hours. There is no maximum amount of credit hours that you need, but you do want to be careful when you get upwards above 60 to 90 hours, because sometimes you do, well, in all cases, you do have to do at least 25% of the degree work at NC State in order to graduate from a majority of the programs. And with engineering, you have to do at least the last 48 credit hours of its final 60 credit hour layout for any of its engineering programs. But in right here, to give you an idea of what we're looking for or recommendations for competitive applicants, again, we use both those terminologies or sayings or statements in our application on our website for the application. And it gives you an idea of what needs to be in there. It'll give you a minimum GPA for consideration. Students like to know what makes me stand out. Having a higher GPA than what you see listed on our website, because having this does not necessarily mean that you're automatically going to get in. You want to go in above and beyond this to be competitive. So they'll have how much English needs to be in there, the types of mathematics we're looking for. And if that particular major requires sciences, it will tell you how much science is in there. And the College of Ag and Life Science is a really good example of all of the above, basically, where everything that is listed that you need in order to be competitive. And yet it goes along the lines of College of Design through the College of Textiles for each one. So whichever one area your major is in, you want to make sure that you have these particular courses. That recommended college coursework is very important. So is that GPA when it comes to that holistic academic review as well. Courtney? All right. So with North Carolina Community College students, we have a comprehensive articulation agreement. All the public universities and quite a number of the private universities across the state do as well. And we came up with a partnership with all the community colleges and all the public universities and a good amount of the private universities as well that belong to the CAA, the Comprehensive Articulation Agreement. There are baccalaureate degree plans. And so we brought up the 4-year baccalaureate degree plan and pathways so you can choose a major basically, and you can call up and look on our website and see, what would be the best plan for me to take at my community college: an Associate of Arts, Associate of Science, Associate of Engineering, and then the upcoming teacher education degrees with the Associate of Arts and Associate of Science are also coming into play here very shortly. Some community colleges have already introduced them. The rest will introduce them over the next year to year and a half, where they'll be across the state at all 58 community colleges. But it's a maximization plan of what you should take from that Associate of Arts or Science or Engineering or the teacher education degrees, what you should take at your community college the first 2 years. I don't necessarily recommend playing with the amount of English or the type of English you see listed, or the mathematics or the sciences, but anything else in the UGETSI list, University General Education Transfer Core Curriculum, or the General Ed Core Curriculum, you can kind of do some substitutions there, because on your pick list for Associate of Arts, Associate of Science, and Associate of Engineering, you have a number of different courses that you can choose to meet those one graduation requirements to graduate from those degrees. Again, you don't necessarily have to graduate from the degree. It is in your best interest if you do, because it saves you a lot of time and energy and money if you do finish the 2-year degree at the North Carolina Community College. If you don't, we've got the reverse transfer program for you to look at into once you transfer to NC State University. But this, again, it's a maximization plan. If you can follow it to the letter, hey, that's great. That really is. But if you can't, substitutions are very much allowed, and especially in those Gen Ed and those UGETSI courses as well. But just be very, cognizant of the mathematics, the Englishes, and the sciences. And we do have them laid out for all of our programs. If you do not see a program listed, it means it is probably being reorganized by our registration and records office, who works with the community college system. And you can simply still follow along with your regular degree tracks, following the regular AA, AS, AE, and the teacher plans with your community college system. But just make sure you look for and build in those main math, science, and English courses in that plan, in case a baccalaureate degree plan is not available at the time that you start your community college system. But they are there, and we renew them. The reverse transfer program, I jumped ahead of myself. So when you transfer in, basically what happens is you've left the community college, you've got 30 hours to 40 hours, you did not graduate from the North Carolina Community College system. You can have your courses, even though you're already at NC State, you can have your grades at the end of each semester, up to 3 semesters, transferred back, or your transcript will be sent back to the community college that you transferred from, and the community college will review it. If you meet their associate's degree requirements, they're going to send you a graduation and your associate degree, even though you've already transferred to NC State. We highly recommend the reverse transfer program for any North Carolina Community College transfer student who did not finish the degree. So the North Carolina Community College credit is on our website. It's a big list. You can look it up individually with a quick reference list on our website. And you can also look it up individually by looking up the community college itself, because it'll have some of the courses that are no longer taught there, but are very much still accepted at NC State University and a majority of the public universities as well, and the privates. But NC State, we've gone back 20 to 25 years with some of the courses that are still very much transferable. If you have courses that old, you've took time off, came back to college, we'll be glad to take a look at those for credit towards your degree at NC State. And we list everything that's on that Associate of Arts, Associate of Science, Associate of Engineering, and slowly but surely the teacher education degree credits are being added to these lists as well. And also, one last thing real quick, you can also look up universities. We've got over 3,900 other community colleges and universities across the country and internationally on this list, so you can see how we've seen it. It's a historical database when you look up these credits based on when transcripts came in at the time of application. Thanks, Courtney. Scholarships and financial aid. So when you get admitted to the university, there are some potential and will be some potential before, during, or after for scholarships, depending on your major and what you're going to do and the department and what your GPA could be after you get established at NC State University. But we will create a PAC Assist account for you once you get admitted to the university, where you can go and apply, see the available scholarships that are, you know, a possibility for you coming into NC State in the beginning and afterwards as well. After you establish a GPA, you go to PAC Assist, which is part of the Office of Scholarships and Financial Aid, and you can look and apply for scholarships again before you get to NC State and after you've been at NC State for a little while as well. So the PAC Assist account will stay with you all the way through graduation as well. The Goodnight Scholarship is a program scholarship. Actually, it's not just, you know, money being handed to you. It is actually a program. It's a family of students who have been awarded a very special scholarship started by Dr. Jim and Ann Goodnight, double alum of NC State University, and very important member of the NC State community as well. Also, he started the Goodnight Scholarship back in 2008 for first-year freshman students, and then in approximately right around 2016, 2017, he started it for transfer students. And it's only for North Carolina Community College graduates of the Associate of Arts, Science, and Engineering, and the teacher education degrees as well. When you graduate from that and you've been accepted to a STEM major, science, technology, engineering, math, you should qualify for this. Take a picture of this page with your cell phone, or it's on our website for you as well. Also, it's a renewable scholarship if you've been accepted into a STEM major at NC State University for renewing for up to 3 years, not just 2 + 2, 2 years at the community college and 2 years at NC State, but if you need 3 years to finish your degree at NC State, you can renew that scholarship and you are selected for it. You can renew that scholarship for up to $20,500 per year at, for all 3 years at NC State University. So it's pretty nice money. Definitely check into that. Again, it's also a program. It's not just a scholarship. You're going to have your fellow Goodnight Scholars and you're going to do a lot of different projects together. It's community service, it's travel. There's a lot of different aspects about this particular beautiful program for our transfer students, and it's just an amazing scholarship. So definitely take a look at it. It's like your own unique club and family with the Goodnight Scholarship program. And I would talk more about it, but just due to time, definitely take a look at that website and take a look at all the neat benefits of it. FAFSA, studentaid.gov. That's really, everybody's used to FAFSA.ed.gov. This is the new website, studentaid.gov. They've made it easier, and definitely apply for your free application for federal student aid. And it's good to have it on file with the university because some of the scholarships that we offer, they want a student aid report on file, even if you're not necessarily going to use financial aid, but some of the scholarships need that student aid report on file. And our deadline for the spring typically is right around the same time as the deadline for the application for the spring, October 1st. And for the fall, even though our deadline for the application is February 15th, March 1st is our preferred deadline to get that student aid report to, or the FAFSA form to us, so we can consider grants and funds and loans for you for the fall term. This is one of our last page. Everybody take a picture of this one. Right here, this is a great connection site for us. It's not just the last page of our presentation, but this is something for you to refer back to a lot, for you to have real ease and access to all the different programs at NC State University, all the different colleges. And so in some cases, you might see just a web address or an email address of a name here. That's the main person you want to get in touch with, say at the College of Design, Tamika Whitaker, fantastic wealth of knowledge with the College of Design. She's been there for many, many years. College of Ag and Life Sciences might have a more, general email in which they spread based on what your email is. They'll get you to the right person inside the College of Ag and Life Sciences. And it goes on in that particular order all the way through all of our different departments. If you need more inside detail that goes above and beyond the Office of Undergraduate Admissions at NC State, connect with us. We're on every kind of social media website. We're on the Twitter, we're on the Snapchat, we're on Facebook, we're building up our YouTube. There's a lot of information there right now, but Courtney and I've got some plans that we want to enhance with that to get some more stuff on there for transfer students as well. But there's some other good stuff there too as well, but keep an eye on that one. Stay tuned. And then also Facebook is on there as well. So there's a lot of different ways, and visit.ncsu.edu. Great way to set up personal one-on-one virtual phone meetings and what have you. And one day when we get back in person, that's another way to come visit the campus. And we do have virtual visitations led by our student ambassadors. So hopefully you've gotten a picture of this, and this is a really great way to keep in touch with us and have, in case any questions come up, even after this presentation. And with that, that's really the main gist of it right there. And Courtney's going to lead us into anybody that's got questions and answers. Don't forget to put those in there, and we'll be glad to cover those for the remainder of the time that we have. We have about 10 and a half minutes if anybody has some questions and answers.
Awesome. Thank you, Taylor. So yes, like Taylor said, please do submit your questions through the Q&A function. We will try to get to as many questions as we can in the time that we do have left together. So Taylor, we did have a great question come into our Q&A really quickly.
Okay.
So are there any honors college type opportunities for transfer students?
We do have, there's a couple of ways to do this because this just came up recently when we were doing our update. Our staff was doing update meetings with each of our departments, and we interviewed with quite a few of them this year. And Courtney actually headed that up to make sure we saw quite a few more than we normally do each summer and fall, actually. So the Honors and Scholars Program is primarily for first-year freshman students, but they did let us know and inform us and update us that they will take a look at certain transfer students as well, based on, you know, a stellar transfer student that's done extremely well. You're more than welcome to get in touch with them to see if you can be a part of the Honors and Scholars Program. It is on a student-by-student basis, so if you feel like you're just, you know, you've been heavily involved, or you've got work that's been involved, or, you know, with your major, or even you have done research already, internships, co-op opportunities, your grades are, you know, just a fantastic student overall, you know, well above what we look for in our basic recommended requirements. Definitely get in touch with the Honors and Scholars Program. They're handled in the same office. You can only choose one if you're invited. And then also we do have, after you get to NC State, if you do establish a 3.5 GPA your first semester at NC State University, we do have the Tau Sigma Honor Society. So something for you to look at there as well also.
Awesome. Thanks, Taylor. So we had another question come in about transferable credit. So I'll kind of lead that off in saying that our Office of Admissions does not do any preemptive transcript reviews for our application process. So if students want to know how their credits would transfer to NC State, we really encourage you to utilize that transfer course credit database. And as long as you have a C- or better and we have an equivalent, we should be able to grant credit for it. But Taylor, can you talk a little bit about the timeline as to when students would know what their actual transferable credit is and how that would be applied to their degree audit at NC State?
Yeah. So a couple of things real quick. Hopefully we can cover all the questions and everything. Basically, when you don't see something on the transfer list on our transfer credits, it means that we have not seen the course. You pull up your college and you see all the courses we've seen. There's a course you've taken and you're like, it's not there. Do not fret. It means that you're the first person to bring it to our attention. We would love to be able to evaluate every college. We would love to be able, excuse me, sorry about that. My phone went off. We would love to be able to evaluate every college in the world, but we don't have the man-woman power to look and research that. So we only have that available, you know, all of the amazing individuals available to research the transcripts that come in with each of the applications. So if you notice that you're taking somewhere in that range of transferable credit and you see similar courses there, you might have a safety factor where other courses are very similar to it. It's not technical in nature, and it's probably going to come in. You're just the very first person to bring it to our attention from that particular college. Now, to get to the second part of the question that Courtney was mentioning, our transfer evaluation is done during the time that we are reviewing your application. So initially, you are going to get a transfer summary report, a TSR. We call them transfer evaluation summaries. So there's TESs, but we will refer to it as a TSR for the applicant. You will get that at the time that you find out whether or not you have been admitted. Hopefully all of you are going to be admitted. Every one of you are. We're going to stay positive here. So welcome to NC State. You will get an initial evaluation at first, but then usually there's going to be some stuff that could still be under review, and that could take up to 2 weeks after the initial evaluation. But we want you to have some initial work, that initial evaluation, that in case you're going ahead, because we're going to send you a checklist of items to do, look out for those special little features that we're going to bring into doing something like this as well, about how to navigate your admissions checklist. Those will be held in the future as well through a platform very similar to this. But you will have an evaluation of some kind. And then the official formal evaluations, usually our goal is to have them within 2 weeks after your admissions letter has gone out to you for the final, so that you've got a copy of it and that your advisor of your department. Your advisor is going to be done directly through the department of your major. So if you're going into, say, English, you're not going to have an engineering professor as your advisor. You're going to have an English professor as your advisor. So they'll be able to access a copy of that final evaluation and plan your degree track for the remainder of your time at NC State University. So it all really takes place during that time. Again, you can do a pre-evaluation based on all the courses that we've seen so far to kind of get an idea and cross-reference it with on our tool base, our tools that we have in our website with all the degree requirements for the major. And students have come really close to navigating how much time that they're going to have to spend at NC State before they even apply to NC State by using those two tools on our transfer section of our website. Courtney.
Awesome. Thanks, Taylor. So we had another question come in about high school transcripts, so I can address this one. So the question was, for when we submit our high school transcript with our applications, how do we submit it? So again, you will only be required to submit your official high school credentials, so your high school transcript and your standardized test scores for any year after this year, since we are test optional this year. So you'll be required to submit those high school credentials if you have completed less than 30 transferable credit hours at the time that you submit your application. When it comes to requesting those transcripts, you can request it through CFNC, or if you just want to go back to your high school counselor or your high school registrar and request that they submit your official high school transcript to NC State, you can do that as well. Those transcripts cannot be self-reported, so they cannot come from you. They do have to come officially from your high school. All right, Taylor, so the next question that we had is about ROTC programs. So are they available for our transfer students?
Absolutely. We do represent all 4 branches of ROTC here at NC State University, and all you have to do is just get in touch with the general numbers that you see on our website. You can even just go to NCSU. If you're ever lost on our website, you can easily just go to ncsu.edu. Or you could do ncsu.edu/admissions. But to ever search out anything inside this university, just go to ncsu.edu and use the search bar, type in ROTC. It's going to give you the main contact numbers there. And then you just take it from there. Make that phone call, make that email connection. I'm the kind of guy that always makes a phone call and an email connection. Send both, do both. And that way you can take a look at the possibilities of joining our ROTC program as well. And that is available to any student that starts at NC State University. Courtney.
Awesome. And we are one of the very few universities that actually serve all 3 branches of the military, which is really unique. So definitely check those out if that's something that you're interested in. And our Military and Veterans Benefits Office is absolutely phenomenal, as is that resource center, in providing you with the proper information. But then also, if you are a military affiliated student and have JSTs or need help navigating your GI benefits, they're absolutely phenomenal.
And Courtney, and Courtney, real right. It is technically 3, but there is the 4th branch that's tied in with one of the others. But so you can look at it as 3, or you can look at it as 4. Both answers are absolutely correct. So, absolutely.
Awesome. So this may be the last question that we're able to answer today in time. So Taylor, you and I can both tackle this one. So the question that came in is, what do we typically look for in an application, especially as it pertains to extracurricular involvement? And Taylor, you shared that, of course, our review process is very academic in nature. So we put a lot of emphasis on your academic achievement. But there is an opportunity for students to list their extracurricular involvement. I typically don't call it extracurricular involvement. I like calling it enrichment opportunities, because we understand that our transfer students have very different pathways to NC State and very different opportunities available to them. So in that section, treat it like your resume. Put down any clubs, organizations, if you do volunteer work, if you have a job, if you have household responsibilities, if you care for someone. All that is very meaningful to our office, because we're really looking to know how you make meaning of your time outside of the classroom. With any type of enrichment opportunities, because our review process is so academic in nature, it will add strength to your application if your enrichment opportunities do complement your academic program that you're interested in applying for or enrolling in at NC State. But of course, that's not a requirement, because we understand that those opportunities are very different to students. And so still feel free to list all that information in your application, and it will be taken into consideration during our review process.
And one last thing, also, when you sit down with your advisor, they can see what you've been involved with work or whatever it might be, and they might have some really great academic or social organizations in mind with our 700 clubs and organizations for you to join, possibly become the president and one of the leaders of those organizations as well. So there's a lot of different reasons why you should include that information.
Awesome. And it looks like we are out of time. So thank you everyone for attending today and asking your questions.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Taylor. And at this time, Jessica, I will turn it over to you to close us out.
Awesome. Thank you, Courtney and Taylor, for that info session. Just a few last minute housekeeping announcements to share with everyone. Like Courtney and Taylor both said, thank you all so much for joining us today. When you close your window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. So we'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, again, this is one of many sessions being hosted. So be sure to sign up for additional sessions at CACRAO.org or CACRAO.org, as well as if you haven't signed up for any other sessions but want to view recordings of past sessions, you can do that there, as well as view this recording at the same website, so CACRAO.org. And with that, we'll end the webinar. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks, guys.
Take care, everybody. Stay safe.